First of all, sorry for this atrocious angle. It is literally awful. I am at my table because we're doing something exciting today. We're making our own board game. I got this idea from Destiny Sidwell. She got it from a TikToker who I'm not sure who that was, but I guess this is a thing going on the internet that I did not realize. And I saw Destiny's video on it about making a Bookish board game. And she specifically made a TBR board game. I'm going to make mine a little bit different and just make it more general bookish. That way I can reuse it in many other different ways, and I have ideas of ways to reuse it. But today we're going to be building the board game, playing the board game for the first time, and choosing my TBR through that. So this video encompasses a lot of different things. I'm super excited. I am fully a craft girly. Like, one thing to know about me is that I love a good craft, and this just seemed like such a fun idea. On Amazon, I got a blank board game. She, I think, just used like thick cardboard kind of paper, which you could definitely do. You don't have to buy this, but I wanted something nice that will last, and I definitely want to use this for like a long period of time. So I figured I could either use poster board and then laminate the poster board, or I could just buy this and it's about the same price and less work. So I went ahead and bought this off of Amazon. I'll leave the link down below in case you want to do this yourself. But I am so excited. Oh my gosh, it just came in. Okay, this will work. This will work. So I think what I'm gonna do is trace the outline. I already have a vision in my head. I've been thinking about this for a couple of days while I was waiting for it to come in the mail. I'm gonna use a pencil to trace the outline of what I want, and then we'll go over that with permanent marker. And it's gonna be so cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little time lapse for you guys. If you see me looking this way, it's because I'm gonna have the TV on at the same time. I'm gonna watch some YouTube while doing this. So let's get to it. All right, y'all, we are in front of my TBR because these are the books that we're going to be choosing from. And this is the board game. It is the Bookish board game. So cute. So this is the start area. It's a little book. I also have a little book up there. And each of these spaces is a different bookish prompt. So there's continuous series, YA, new author, made into a movie, manga or graphic novel, buy a book, animal on the cover, all sorts of different prompts. That's the entire board. So my plan is I have 2 dice from my Clue game and this little Sully figurine, because fun fact, I love Sully. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in the start area. We're gonna roll our dice and then go the amount of spaces it tells us to go, and then pick a book from my physical TBR. I can only pick from my physical TBR, and we're gonna pick out 8 books. This angle is a little awkward, but I think that's about as good as we're gonna get. So I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and start playing the game. I'll pick out the books one by one, and then at the very end, we will go over my TBR. I'm so excited, this was so fun. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to say, if I land on a prompt and I have absolutely no books that fit that prompt whatsoever, I will re-roll, because I, again, want to pick from my physical TBR. So like, if I land on buy a book, for example, we're just gonna re-roll because I'm not buying any books for this specific video. But I have that prompt on there because this board game can be used for so many other things, not just my TBR. 8. I almost said 7. 8. A pink cover. Oh no. I only have 2 pink covers. 5, 6, 7, 8 again. Okay. Food on the cover. Interesting. I don't actually know if I have any that have food on the cover. I went through every single book on my physical TBR and none of them have food on the cover, so we need to re-roll. 7. Cartoon cover. Again, I think I might have 1. 10. Pretty cover. Oh, I love that prompt. Okay. You can probably see the books disappearing as I do this. 3. A thriller. 8 again. Adult lit. 6. A white cover. I picked the closest thing I have to that. I don't know. I have a spot that's a free pick, but I have to roll 2. So let's hope I roll 2. I probably won't. Not even close. I rolled so high. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my god, 11. Okay. So I skipped this start area because there's not a prompt on there, and it landed on buy a book. So we're gonna just skip that. Longest title. That's a good one. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh, this is the last one. This is the last one. $11 again. Released this year. What was released this year? Dang, this was released last year. I don't know if I have any that were released this year. All right, friends, I have the book stack. It is such a pretty stack. I'm so excited for these. It was kind of hard with some of the prompts, and I'm not gonna lie, I went in with an idea of the books that I wanted to read, and I wasn't able to pick all of them. But I was able to pick some that I maybe otherwise would have put off a little bit longer, and I think that's a good thing. Kind of forces me out of my comfort zone, you know? The first prompt was a pink cover, and for that I chose Twisted Hate. I have been wanting to get back into this series, and I have the audiobook on hold on Libby, but I keep pushing off the hold, like suspending it longer and longer. So it's time we finally get back into this series. And you might be wondering, Amanda, why did you pick this? The cover is red. It's red with pink in it, okay? So we're gonna go with it. Our next prompt was a cartoon cover, so I went with Tomi by Junji Ito. This is a thick manga, but I am super excited to read this, and this is one that I really wanted to read in October, so I was gonna make it happen with any prompt. Like, I was gonna find one of the prompts and make this happen, so cartoon cover was the pick for that. Our next book kind of goes along with forcing the prompt a little bit. Our next prompt was pretty cover. I chose Clown in a Cornfield 2. I do really like this cover. I especially like the detail, like there's the city in the eyes and stuff, and like the spine is really cool. I definitely just wanted to read this in October, but the prompt works for it. So this is a teen slasher, and I'm definitely excited. This is the sequel, and I wanted to read this in October since I read the first one last October. So I'm definitely excited for this. Then I was able to choose a thriller, and I have several thrillers on my TBR. So for this one, I chose Five Survived by Holly Jackson. This has been on my physical TBR for way too long, and this is another one that I have the audiobook on hold with Libby, but I keep pushing off the hold. It's time we go ahead and do it. Our next category was adult lit. I have put this on my TBR for like 3 months and keep not reading it. So we're gonna finally read it. Then I was supposed to pick a white cover. The People in the Trees is more of like an off-white, but it's still white, so I went with this one. I could have chosen the other one, but I went with this one. This is another one that's been on my physical TBR for way too long. I want to say I got this in the spring, maybe. I got it at a used bookstore, and it's an intimidating one, I'm not gonna lie. Like, anything Hanya Yanagihara intimidates me a little bit, but this is her shortest book, and I love the cover. This also could have counted as pretty cover. It's time we read it, and I think reading House of Leaves right now definitely has me in the mood to read more intimidating books. Then I had to pick the longest title on my physical TBR. Technically, the books that I had already picked would count towards that, but after I had picked those books, I only had one option left. The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. This is a super long nonfiction, but this is actually perfect because it forces me to pick a nonfiction. For those of you that have seen my other videos, you know that I try to read at least one nonfiction or one classic a month. And we were getting towards the end of the prompts. So I was getting a little nervous. I'm like, oh gosh, I might need to trade one of these books out to like get a nonfic or a classic in there. But this works for the nonfic pick. And it's kind of perfect for spooky month. So yeah. Last but certainly not least, this is a book that I would not have picked if the prompt didn't force me to. But I'm glad that I did this because, again, we're going out of our comfort zone. We're being forced to read our TBR. I only have one book that was written in 2023. Written and released, I should say. Off the Deep End by Lucinda Berry. This is going to be my first ever Lucinda Berry. And it was written released January 10th of this year. So this just barely made the cut. It is my only book on my physical TBR from this year, I think. I don't know how that happened, but I'm pretty sure this is my only one. And this is another thriller, so I definitely think this makes sense for spooky month. If you saw my September reading wrap up, you already know that I am reading this book currently, but I do have one other book going on my October TBR just because I'm in the middle of it. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. This has been such a good time. I already know this is going to be 5 stars. And don't you worry, I will be doing a whole video dedicated to this book. It's not going to be a reading vlog. It's going to be more of like tips and tricks for reading the book because I tried to do a reading vlog and every time I just said, oh, this is really good. I am barely able to hold this up, but this is my TBR for October. We have 9 books total, one of which I am in the middle of reading. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy my other content. We are a judgment-free zone, so if that sounds interesting to you, definitely stick around. I'd love to have you. And until next time, bye!